Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we're off to a fast start here as UMT and DSU are getting into the ban phase. Nunu Willump is the first ban, then comes a Lilia ban and a Zac. All bans have been similar as we saw from last time. Oh, there's the Volley Bear ban right off the start there. And then we'll see what UMT decides to go off again. We do see a Poppy ban this time. Very interesting, very interesting. I'm wondering why they decided to do that this time instead of something else. All right, and there we see a Caitlyn ban. So the same 3 bans from DSU, and then we get the first pick on Misfortune this time instead of letting them have it. That's very nice, very nice. All right, we'll see what DSU decides to take for their first and second pick. We see a Jhin to counteract Misfortune. Very strong. Jhin with the gun. Popping down that pistol. Oh, maybe a Kog'Maw. Maybe a Kog'Maw. Looks like it is a Jhin pick. They tapped it on back there. Now we'll see what they decide to go with on their second pick. They could pick their support right off the back here and make sure that, you know, everything's set on in because they didn't ban any supports. So, something to look for. Something to look for. Oh, this could be a very strange bot lane. Oh, then we do see another Rakan. All right, so we see Set potentially. Yep, a lock-in on Set yet again. It was very strong last time. We just didn't have the momentum to keep carrying it on. And we do see Morgana as support. They banned Morgana last time, but this time University of Montana goes and picks it. So that's very strong, very nice. Very good, very good. Morgana is very strong right now in the bot lane. She brings a lot to the table, that's for sure. We'll see what the DSU decides to pick. If they decide to pick their jungler to go back and forth. Oh, yep, there's the Sejuani. Sejuani in the jungle could be in the mid lane, but most likely in the jungle there. Very interesting pick for DSU. Oh, they're getting ready to potentially ban Amumu. Not my boy. Not my sweet little boy. What? Don't do that to Amumu. Ah, there's the Nico. There's the Nico. Whew. Man. Shout out to DSU for hovering over Amumu, but you know. Yeah. There's an Ornn ban. Don't want to be going against that in the top lane. UMT does not like seeing that. Giving that item buff and that harassment up there. Clash all over again. Oh, Clash all over again as well. For those of you who don't know, Clash is an in-game tournament that Riot can hold sometimes on the weekends and whatnot. And us coaches and heads got together and we played Clash this weekend. And I'm a very strong Amumu player in the jungle. And every single game except for the very last one, Amumu got banned in the first 3 bans. And it was not a pretty sight for me. For those of you who are wondering, I'm ranked Iron 2, and yet they were still scared of the Amumu plays. It was not pretty. They do have a Yone as their last ban, and then they went and picked Malphite as their top lane. Very interesting. We'll see what Coles decides to go in as against Malphite. Malphite could be mid lane, I believe. I believe that is an option for Malphite to go, but you most likely will see him the top. Katarina, again, was not banned, so they actually were smart and decided to pick her this time. All right, very, very nice. Looks like mid lane is going to be quite the play and quite the harassment from Shy over here with a Katarina play. If we do end up winning this, I will see Katarina probably be banned next. Hecarim pick. Very interesting indeed. I'm actually really surprised here. Wait. Are they gonna pick Amumu? Come on. Give it to me. Pick the Amumu. Let me see the Amumu plays. Bring it in strong. If they don't have Infernal Mumu, though, you know, not truly represent. And there's the Zed lock-in instead for the mid lane. All right, coming in strong. Thanks for the Amumu shout out, DSU. Not sure if you got any spectators in there. Doing a little shout out back and forth, but I love seeing Amumu. Thank you very much. This is a very interesting set. Was most likely chosen for the jungle, and then they saw Sejuani chosen as a counter pick, but then they decided again to choose a different jungler to counter, and they chose Hecarim. I think they did the same thing last game as well, of just, they chose Yone for the top lane, they chose Ornn to counter him, so they switched Yone to the mid lane and chose a different top laner, which is very interesting for University of Montana to be on that back and forth counter picking, trying to come back after getting counter picked out. All right, yep, here we see Coles is set up in the top lane. Very interesting picking. We'll see up here, probably the Malphite is the choice. Yep, there's the Malphite in the top lane. So Malphite set, it's going to be very interesting seeing the back and forth the two of them have. Malphite can be pretty good at picking up his CS with his Q ability. A little wood saw. Throw it on there. Or the cheese wheel, as some call it. There's the Hecarim pick for Jet Jaguar and Katarina in the mid lane against the Zed. That's going to be interesting back and forth. We do have seen Shy pop off left and right as Katarina, as it is his strongest champion. I do think he has over 700,000 mastery points as Katarina just on his main account here. And he does a lot of plays with Katarina. So he's very strong at playing him, which is really well done. All right, here we see the last bands. We see the Nico, we see the Yone. There's the Ornn, and last but not least, just thinking, there's the Lysandra. All right, so the last two picks here was Jhin Rakan in the bot lane. What is this, Samira? yeah, there you go. And then there was Misfortune Morgana down from our bot lane. So it's going to be interesting back and forth down in the bot lane. We do have the actual pick. We didn't get hard counter picked and stuff in the bot lane. So we do have Misfortune, which is very strong for our bot laner. Caitlyn, I'm pretty sure, is his main, but Misfortune's his second and kind of his fallback too, which he's had to do every single time. He's gone back and forth trying to get that Caitlyn play, but they always seem to ban Caitlyn in the first three bans to make sure our bot lane ADC cannot get it. So very interesting indeed. Yeah, this is some great matchups. Sejuani's extremely strong, building her AP. She can do a lot of good back and forth, a lot of good roaming as well. And in the top lane, I have. Wait. Is Cole's actually playing Hecarim in the top lane? What's going on here? I didn't think Hecarim could do anything other than jungle, but here we are. Oh, okay, all right. Well, spectator delay is going up. We're going to play a short little montage video for you guys yet again as we wait. Please enjoy the show. Alrighty, folks. Looks like we can't figure out our sound quite yet for the video. We'll try to get that fixed up by you in the next times that we stream. But here we are in the montage. Love doing a little plug, shout out for the teams, for the UC Game Room, and for our Minecraft get together on the 17th of October, not November. But feel free to join us at 2 p.m. Saturday the 17th. If I'm correct, it is a Saturday. Saturday the 17th, our Minecraft get together. We're going to stream at 2 p.m. Mountain Time here in Montana. Dropping in strong. We're going to have some fun games and things to check out, spectate, have a blast. Bringing in strong. As well as always, we are partners with the UC Game Room in all of our plays left and right. They have a very strong cyber cafe set up for you guys to go check out, have a blast. You can go and actually watch our stream from there if you don't have access to a computer and want to hang out with friends while maybe playing a game and kind of watching it in the background. You can play at one of the computers, which are all socially distanced apart, so you can be with friends and have a good time while watching the stream. Pizza Hut is also directly next to it, so you can go by, grab yourself a nice slice of pie, and have a blast with friends. Always give a shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you all yet again for joining us. I'm so happy to see you all. Glad you guys can come and hang out with us down here in the Grizzly Esports stream. Like always, we're going to have a nice second match here, and hopefully we can see some great, amazing plays coming from our team. If you want some more information about the game room, you can check out their website at umt.edu/game room right there on the screen for more information on what they can offer, what kind of things you can sign up for and do in the game room throughout the semester and throughout the years to come. All right. And with that, looks like our spectator delay is getting ready to hop on over, and we'll, as we load it into the game and get ready for you all. Ooh, I love the skins. I love the... Ooh, Darkstar Malphite Prestige Edition. Ooh, little spicy action going on there. All right, dropping on in. We're going to get our HUDs up. Dropping in, doing some good stuff. Dragon timer is up along with Baron timer as well. Oh, it's Darkstar Jhin. Darkstar Jhin, Darkstar Jhin. It's Darkstar Jhin. All right, walking on down. Nice Hecarim skin. I like the look. All right, heading on in. They are doing a 5-man stack down here. They're running in strong. There's the team coming in from the bot lane there. They do have some warding going. There's a root going straight onto the Rakan right there from Morgana. Dropping down. They are running off here. Oh, we see a flash knock-up from the Rakan, doing some damage, getting poked down on. A nice stun going onto him. Rakan's getting taken out, and first blood goes to Katarina in the mid lane, and Malphite is also dropping to the Katarina. Set gets dropped by Malphite, and here we see a flash taken from the... My goodness, and a flash for stun from Archer66, giving Katarina a triple kill. As they walk on over, we see a ward drop down onto the tri-bush there. On the side. Oh my Che, folks. What an amazing invade coming from both teams there. University of Montana, however, takes the lead in a 3-1 kill advantage. With only losing Set right there. He was able to back, however, and he got himself a nice little ward placement. Now he got 3 assists and a nice little red buff start. Very well done, Griz. Starting off strong with a 1k gold lead. Sejuani getting the nice little blue buff if she was a little back behind on Set's lead. Set being able to die a lot sooner than Sejuani did, or at least dying early on, was able to get back onto his buff for Sejuani, getting him that lead advantage. Looks like Hecarim up here in the top lane is getting poked on down by Malphite. Lots of good damage from the Katarina in there, as Zed was trying to do him, doing him dirty. Coles is getting poked on down by this Malphite. So much damage thrown on in. getting down. However, he's coming on in. Cole's hitting that level 2 and being able to get that lifesteal aura on up there. Throwing down some damage onto the Malphite. He does give the helicopter spin. Throwing him on down. It's not going to look too good for the Zed in the mid lane. After Katarina's now 3-0 already. This is not pleasant at all. Due to the fact that not only is it a 3-0 Katarina, it is also shy on Katarina, which we've seen him pop off in the past, and he's going to pop off yet again. Going in strong here. We see, just barely misses the stun from Archer66 right there, trying to get that root on him. We see Coles is back up at the full hit points. There's the lifesteal aura popping on down there. Getting some good damage on Malphite, poking him on out, getting him off the wave. Here we see lots of good damage down here in the bot lane. Jhin, Darkstar Jhin, throwing down some damage out there on the Misfortune. Set on the Sejuani, getting some good poke, throwing him on down. Getting Sejuani out of there. Doesn't want to see anything, really. Morgana throws down the curse. We see Cole's out of mana, however, and Malphite's pretty close to being the same boat. We see some CS grab from Cole's here, bringing it on in. He's just got to keep the CS going, and he's got to keep his mana up as he rejuvenates some back and forth there. Getting ready to take out Malphite. Zed's doing his best to hold against this Katarina. Lots of good damage from Katarina right there. And Cole's also taking on some good hits onto the Malphite. Throwing down some damage. He's taking Malphite off of the wave clear. You can see the CS lead is about 10 on the Malphite there. Hecarim's keeping him off the wave. Throwing him down under tower. Trying to keep that CS strong. We see Jhin's getting some good poke. He has a lot of good damage with his gun. If you guys don't know Jhin's build, underneath his hit point bar, you can see there are little tags and a purple shot. Basically, Jhin treats his gun like an actual gun full of ammo, and so he has 4 shots. On the 4th shot, it does bonus damage, and then he has to reload. Lots of good damage going on to Rakan. Here comes Set, bringing it on in strong. As he came from back behind them, Archer66 is going to try to get that root there on the Jhin, bring them to half health. Here comes Sejuani, however, Misfortune doing a summoner heal, getting damage off onto Misfortune. A teleport had come from the Malphite, bringing him down, and Jhin is getting a kill on the Morgana. Not a pretty sight, folks, but Malphite's teleport is down, as he now has to back and go and get some items, and Hecarim's going to push in that top lane. They're going to start Dragon, however, which has been a really good advantage, objective advantage that DSU has brought to the table here. They're actually able to get it and go it strong. They know how to play against and with the Dragon there. It's really well done job. Looks like Zed's actually hit 6 before Katarina, as the Dragon does go to Jhin right there. Down from the bot lane. Not looking too hot there for the University of Montana. Hecarim's up here trying to get some plating going. As here comes Malphite back up in. He actually didn't get too much damage onto the turret. As Malphite was teleported down to the bot lane. Gotta get some lifesteal. Coles is bringing the heat. He jumps over the minions, trying to do some damage on the Malphite. Malphite gets a lot of poke down, however, on the Hecarim there. Lots of good damage, bringing him to half health. My Che, folks. That's not looking good for Coles. He's getting poked down. Coles does have his ultimate, however, so he can get out of there. Yes! Malphite just barely hit level 6 and threw the ultimate down to jump onto Hecarim, getting a kill. That was not a pretty sight right there, folks. Oh, and there's the ultimate right there on Katarina, throwing down some damage, throwing in more and more as Zed's going and poking him down. Shut down on Katarina. Zed's able to get that poke and that dash from the ultimate as well. Wow, it is not looking hot for the University of Montana. They may have gotten that first beginning gank with 3 kills on the Katarina, but every lane has been losing so far. It's not looking hot with DSU now at a 1K gold lead on top of University of Montana. They're bringing back that heat. I don't like seeing that at all. Lots of good lifesteal positioning from Hecarim right here on the minion waves as Malphite was taking in the hits. Here we see in the bot lane, Sejuani is coming on in. We see a root go on the Jhin, however, for the gank vision was sighted, and they didn't want anything going on there, and Morgana was able to get a good root. Lots of good damage going on to the Katarina from Zed. Archer 66 getting poked on out here. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, looks like bot lane was able to stop that gank, which is really a nice job done going in from the bot lane there. I like seeing that support from Archer 66. Here we see Jin's got his guns reloaded, and now he has a power shot. He's going to take out some action there, some minion wave clear. He's really strong damage. That fourth shot is powerful. You do not like getting hit by that, that's for sure. Darkstar Jhin, Darkstar Jhin, Darkstar Jhin. Alright, lots of good damage, lots of good poke going in strong there. Sejuani doing some good damage as well. Throwing it on in. A good back and forth. In the mid lane here, Katarina taking a lot of good damage. Going on in, Rakan just hit 6, Misfortune still at level 5, and so is Morgana. At level 6 versus level 5 is not looking too hot at all. Right here for the bot lane. There's Archer 66 hitting that level up. He's now level 6. Lots of good damage onto Katarina there. There's not much she can do against the Zed, just poking him out. Going on in. Set is coming on in for a gank to hold the turret as Katarina has to back. Good back and forth CS from Misfortune. Morgana here, a nice root onto Jhin. We didn't quite see a good engagement going there. There was a good root near tower, and it could have been a nice ultimate time period for Misfortune, but alas, it just quite wasn't. Malphite's coming on in, trying to stop Hecarim from taking his ward. He gets the gold, and there's Sejuani down at Herald, so he has the backup, but Hecarim wants to get out of there for sure. And here we see they're going to get ready for Dragon, which is up in 50 seconds here. They're going to do some ward clearing beforehand, trying to get it on down. They put down double ward. No, it was a ward and a trap. And here's Set coming on in as Jet Jaguar goes in, tries to get some pulls, but alas, he just doesn't quite make it. And they're able to get away. And a nice fourth shot from Jhin, taking out a quarter of Jet Jaguar's hit points. Wow, here's Shy taking out a pink ward in the mid lane. Doing some good damage, popping on down. Throwing it on in his Set. He's trying to get it back, but alas, he wants to come on in. There's a root, there's a dash from Rakan with a shield, bringing him out of there safely. Here, so we see a flash ultimate from Zed, and we see a dash from Shy back and forth, but he gets taken out by Zed. Zed seems to be a very good, strong counter against Shy's Katarina plays. Malphite's doing some crazy damage as he gets the ultimate from Hecarim, and lots of damage, and the ignite on the Malphite taking him down. Hecarim's shutting down the Malphite up in the top lane. Lots of good damage going in strong, and Jhin in the bot lane getting a kill on the Misfortune. We see Herald's dropped by Sejuani, and the Dragon's gonna get taken by her as well. I don't like the sight of this game right now. It is about 2k gold lead ahead for DSU. University of Montana's got to make this comeback. They're 2 kills down with that gold lead disadvantage. They got to try to figure out what they're doing and bring in that strong play. Lots of good damage from Katarina. Jumping on down, getting a kill on Rakan, throwing in that damage onto the Jhin. And here's Sejuani for the play, trying to take out Shy. Getting stunned. Misfortune ult, however, gets a flash and shut down on the Jhin. Lots of good damage coming from both sides there. Unfortunately, Katarina got taken out at the end. Alright, here we see Malphite's back up here in the top lane. Throwing it on down. Sejuani's doing some work here on the Gromp. See some back and forth. Sets over, trying to take this wave clear so he can save the turret as best he can. Turret plating has a minute and a half until it drops, so they do have some time to get that. But DSU is getting a lot more turret plating right now than University of Montana, which is really strong for them. Archer 66 popping down that pink ward with that vision on Zed. Not looking too hot for University of Montana. Here we see in the top lane, Hecarim's being able to hold his own now up there, as Malphite really has to pop his ultimate down to get Hecarim onto the edge. Hecarim is able to help Set take some scuttle damage, and it looks like the first turret is gonna go to the bot lane of DSU as red team destroys first tower. Lots of good damage from both the mid lane and up here in the top lane. Sejuani misses her ult as Hecarim's able to hit the Q button and dash on out of there. Or no, not the Q button, but the E button, as he gains speed to run at somebody. But this time he used it to get away from the ultimate and the team there. And lots of good damage onto the Malphite here coming from Coles. Lots of good lifesteal from his ability right here. Throwing on down that damage. Here comes Set up in the tri-bush, getting ready to Pokemon down. Katarina is supported by Morgana here, throwing down that damage. We see Morgana getting a root on Darkstar Jhin. Darkstar Jhin, Jhin with a Darkstar Jhin. Throwing down that nice poke. And Katarina hops on in on Rakan. He does the ultimate button. Morgana does an ultimate. Sean gets a kill onto the Rakan. A root goes onto the Jhin. And here we see down in the bot lane, Zed is getting a kill on Misfortune as Set comes in and gets a nice little double takeout on the Jhin as he ultimated down there. Here we see he's getting taken out, however, by Malphite and Sejuani. Alas, he was not able to make the escape as a 3v1 when he ultimated in. I think the teleport from Malphite, yep, the teleport from Malphite really secured that for the team there. The blue buff's going to be taken by the Malphite, getting that nice little advantage on the mana regen. Morgana's walking on down mid lane, doing that damage, trying to rotate lanes with everyone. Looks like Katarina's rotating up to the top lane as our bot lane's in the mid, and now Coles is down here in the bot lane against the Zed. Zed's getting poked down as Coles just couldn't stand a chance as the Zed hit the ultimate button and just won the battle. Looks like that's all he needs to do to win the game. He just disappears, goes and assassinates someone, bringing in that nice kill of a secure. Alright, up here in the top lane, Katarina's doing some good work on the Malphite, throwing down that ultimate to do some damage and popping him on left and right. Here we see Morgana throwing out a Q and just barely missing him, as we saw a dash on out from Rakan. Blue turret does go ahead and destroy the mid lane turret right there, bringing in that next turret advantage for the DSU team. Looks like Jet Jaguar is clearing his wards, getting poked on out right there from the enemy team. Zed is waiting for Coles to push up just a little bit more as he hides in the bush. He is going to back, however, knowing that Zed was probably waiting for him. Shy is going to take this advantage up in the top lane as she's going to back as she throws turrets, minions under the turret, bringing that strong gameplay in the top. They're getting ready for Dragon, which is up in 10 seconds now, as it is Infernal Drake and Infernal Map. Didn't really call that out, but yet it is a nice little root on the Morgana. She hits the ultimate button and gets on out of there, doing some good damage. A stun and shut down on the Zed from Set. He's going to go and get the pull in on the Rakan and Darkstar Jhin. Coles is running on in, and Katarina pops on off and gets a kill on Rakan. Jhin getting a kill onto the Katarina. Nice little team fight in a 4v3 right here. Malphite doing some work and taking out Misfortune. We see Coles is up here getting nice damage on both of the Sejuani and Jhin, but Sejuani is able to get some lifesteal back on up, and Jet Jaguar is going to get taken on out here with the double kill for Jhin. Not a pretty sight, folks. Not a pretty sight at all. Wow. Alright, the Dragon is going to go to DSU for a third Drake. This is not pretty for the University of Montana at all. Look at the gold lead. They have a 5.1k gold lead advantage on the University of Montana. DSU's bringing in that heat. They are 5 kills up, 3 dragon advantage, 2 turret advantage, and the gold advantage. This is not looking like the University of Montana could make it back from this. We'll see what can happen. Who knows? DSU could make a little biff and just drop on out here. A nice little comeback team fight can really bring in the heat for the University of Montana. We'll see what can happen if they can poke on people down, get some catch out here. Potentially that the Coles is going to take out Zed right here with the Katarina, shutting down the Zed with the Katarina. These kind of picks are what we like to see, folks. We see Coles up here with the Katarina, and Rakan tried to come as fast as he could, but he couldn't quite make it. A back from Malphite there. What a nice little pop-off. Rakan does have a little vision right there. There's a pink ward. They're going to try to take Herald. Yep. Looks like they're going to 3-man stack onto Herald here. Bringing in that heat. Pink ward was dropped by Rakan yet again, trying to keep that vision, but alas, they take it out and they're going to try to take Herald. Looks like they're going to back off away from the wall just a little bit on the Herald. They do have 3 people against the 4. They haven't spotted Katarina, I do believe, quite yet, so it is the kind of mystery on a 4v3. They aren't quite sure. Herald is just being pulled around and left and right as they're going to try to take it here. And there's the secure of Herald by red team with a nice leash from the University of Montana. Not pretty at all. They're going to go into a team fight here in a 5v5 on the stack. Throwing it on down. They get a blasting cone to get on out of there, and they do a blasting cone there to try to clear out the jungle there. Zed's going to do some damage on a Coles right there, and there's a poke that was blocked by Archer 66. Trying to take out Coles as Archer also put up that shield to save Coles' life. And there we see a turret is going to be taken out by the Herald here for the DSU, pushing in that mid lane, bringing it down to the inhib turret. They're going to throw it on in, and Herald's going to go and take out another turret yet again. Good back and forth, and they're going to do some good damage on the inhib, and there's the inhib taken out, and there's a knock-up ultimate from Malphite, and the Misfortune doing some good damage, throwing out the ultimate as well, hitting no one, as everyone's at half health. Set goes and throws him on down. Katarina goes and gets a kill on Malphite. We see a kill from Hecarim onto the Rakan. He's chasing down Sejuani here with Katarina doing some good damage. Throwing on down Darkstar Jhin and the Jhin, Darkstar Jhin. Throwing down, getting a nice little damage onto the Set, but Set takes out Jhin before he gets taken out himself. Zed is getting on out of there, that slippery little bugger. Sejuani also was able to make the escape out into their jungle from Hecarim. She's going to get some life steal up here from her camps and keep on living. Wow, what an amazing play from DSU, but alas, the University of Montana was able to make a nice comeback on that team fight and take it home. Wow. Well, they were able to do a little bit of more damage. They were able to catch on back up a little bit of gold, but they still have about a 3.5k gold lead on the University of Montana. It's not looking pretty. Alrighty, here we see a nice little spread. Everyone is back up, and they're going to try to take Scuttle here. Getting ready for Baron, which is now up. It was up a minute and a half ago at the 20-minute mark. We're going to throw it on down and in, getting that vision around Baron to make sure that the DSU does not try to take it. Dragon's up in 45. They're going to try to get ready for that as well, because if DSU gets one more dragon, they will have Infernal Dragon Soul, which is some good damage. Some very good, decent damage. Alright, here we see an engagement on the Hecarim. In a 4v1, Hecarim's getting caught out. He tries to ult out of there, but alas, the 4v1 damage just was not able to keep him going. And he gets taken down. Oh my Che, folks, not looking pretty at all. Dragon's up in about 10 seconds now. And then we see Sejuani is doing a dance. Thing of the love. Getting down tonight. Get down tonight. All right, Dragon's up, and they're going to go and try to take it on out. They are doing some ward clearing for the team here. Set's going to try to go on in and get a smite, but alas, red team does get the Dragon Soul right there, and Set goes and ults on in. The Sejuani onto the team. Rakan gets taken out by Set, and a lot of good damage coming there. Set goes and does a lot of damage, a lot of deaths there. Jin getting some shutdown gold. We see Cole's the last one alive. He's now in a 2v3, but alas, he got a double kill on the Zed there as he wasn't able to quite get that taken out. We saw a triple death for the DSU going down there, and a full entire ace for DSU onto UMT. Wow, what a play. What a nice team fight. Very unfortunate for the University of Montana, however. Now they are up by 4.5k gold, and they have Dragon Soul, which lasts for the entire game. Next dragon is now Elder Dragon. Archer 66 and Emergency are going to have to hold out the turret and the entire Nexus from the super minions coming from the mid lane. Oh man, what an unfortunate sight for the University of Montana. But that's okay, folks, because you know what? In spirit, we all have fun at the University of Montana, and hopefully our players aren't taking this too much to the heart. They're going to fall in strong and bring in the heat, fighting to the very end, pulling in that strong University of Montana Grizzly strength that we all love. Morgana's potentially going to get a nice root right there. Set's going to pull him on in, get potentially a punch. Katarina's here. Sejuani's running on down. They're going to back off knowing that the team's there. And Jin's doing some damage on the Hecarim, throwing on in. Hecarim ulted in a 1v4, getting taken out. And now they're flashing on into the team. That's a damage. Jin going and throwing down damage onto the team here. Zed is throwing in a lot of good ultimates down there. And here we see Archer 66 getting caught out in a 2v1 in the middle of the jungle. The team runs over to Baron, where they're going to try and secure it. They now have about a 7k gold lead and Dragon Soul, and now they're going to get Baron. This is going to be a Baron and then run it down at the base. Zed is throwing down the minions in the bot lane, pushing it in. Katarina's contesting that push to try to not get that little push onto the inhib tower that they want. Top lane only has one tower down, so DSU is going to go and use the Baron to push in the top lane as Zed pushes in the bot lane by himself. Set is going to run up to the top lane to try to contest their push with the Baron buff, try to clear minions, do some work. No, he's going to back off, actually. He realizes their entire team's kind of up there except for Zed. Zed's going to almost get rooted, but he gets flash out of there as he throws in some damage, getting off some nice kill and poke. Jet Jaguar is going to hop on in here. He gets an ultimate off on Sejuani, jumping down onto the team, pulling them all together, getting a stun. Jin is not taking any damage at all as no one's clicking on him, and he takes out Set. Lots of damage going in here. Archer 66 getting a root. Malphite's getting ready to throw down that cheese wheel onto the Archer 66 there. Lots of good poking coming out from Jin. They're going to take out double inhib from the top lane and from the mid lane there. And in the bot lane, actually, Zed's able to push in there. They now have double the super minions. And an ultimate from the Katarina going on down. Ultimate from Misfortune. A shutdown on the Zed. Jin is shutting down the Hecarim, and Katarina taking out the Malphite like no tomorrow, throwing in that damage left and right. They're going to jump around. Rakan is given shields, and that's the last game of the night. DSU taking the win on game 2, bringing them 2 out of the 3 games for the victory of the night. That was very unfortunate for the University of Montana. You hate to see it, folks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for the evening. Join us tomorrow for our Rocket League Smash and Dash. As always, we have a game at 6 o'clock and a game at 7:15 of Rocket League. So feel free to hop on in and join us together where we will have an amazing night. With that, this is Disco Potatoes signing off, and until next time, have a great day.